We're gonna start putting this Magnum together for real. Before I started, I had to take everything back off because we got to go back and bolt all this stuff down. I got to put another set of exhaust shields on. We got to get the fuel pump in. Yeah, let's get to this. A little bit of work, but I only had one clamp for this one. When we first did this entire exhaust shield wasn't even here. That one a hole for now. This side has some very sharp edges under there, so I went ahead and, you know, kind of cut that down so you don't go in and accidentally, you know, scratch yourself, because if you do that, you're probably gonna need a tetanus shot. Next up, we got this rear fender. Got the brake light. It's gonna slide in like this. Now we gotta bolt it in from the back. Definitely make sure you put the signal lights on first. I had to take this back off because you can't bolt these down, and yeah. I'm gonna have to come up with a temporary, hopefully permanent solution actually for the signal light, because a little clip broke off, and so this just freely pops out. I don't remember which one it goes in. You got the tail light for the middle, the right signal, and the left signal. So we gotta put the fender on and then lift it up and then connect these in. I'm gonna lie, this is a bit of a challenge because... All right, boys and girls, the smart thing to do is attach it to the signals and the tail light before you attach it to the main harness. This also gave me an opportunity to put some zip ties on this, so this is what it looks like. So when I put it back, I just got to connect this and not try to connect this, this, and this. Yeah, there you go. Get on in theirs. There we go. Snappy snap. Let's test it out and see what happens. Alrighty. Got brake light. Uh-oh. I'm not getting no signal. That very well could be because the front signals are not connected, and also this battery is drained quite a bit. Look at how much volts we got. Yeah, barely any. Now typically there would be a piece that sits in between here called the saddlebag closeout. I'm not gonna be putting that on. I'm gonna show you why. Right here we got the antenna. I don't remember if the antenna was on this bike before we started. I don't think it was. I'm pretty sure he took that antenna off a long time ago. I don't remember the orientation of that antenna. I might have it backwards. Not the end of the world. I can go back and fix it later. This is the saddlebag closeout piece. They sit in between the fender and this on this little rail. I left these pieces there so they just don't get lost on both sides. It basically sits something like this. and it closes that up, makes it look really, really nice. The problem is I don't have the other side. So it didn't make sense to put one side on and not have the other side closed out. So we're just gonna save it, and when we get the other piece, I'll paint it. Yeah. Saddlebag is on. Notice anything though? One spool, no spool. One spool, no spool. Small gap, bigger gap. Basically, when this bike was in an accident, remember the exhaust was pretty much bent and should have been gone, but it wasn't. That bracket underneath that's holding this, all of this, the ABS module and what the exhaust mounts to, is twisted. I tried to bend it back in place. That is the hole for the saddlebag, and that's where it needs to mount. There's a sizable gap there. Yeah, it ain't getting in there without bending some stuff. And also the one on this side is also messed up. So not gonna stress about it right now. I'm gonna find one on eBay, get the good old special, and we're gonna keep moving forward. That looks straight. I'm gonna go ahead and order that, and we'll just wait for it to get here. These are the saddlebag hinges, which I did paint. The other saddlebag lid, I had to basically stitch it together, and then it was fiberglass reinforced. It was bad. I thought I was gonna need another lid, and honestly it would have been faster to just get another lid versus trying to fix it. You gotta do what you gotta do. It's cheaper to have it repaired even though it didn't look the best. This is the left saddlebag lid, and you can see where I took a plastic welder. It was very solid before I sent it off, and then it was reinforced with fiberglass on the outside. You can see where I also stitched it there too. It was split, and it's very strong. I was getting ready to install the saddlebag locks, and look at that. I did not see this when I took it off. I'm gonna JB Weld that. We're not replacing this. Still got to get the seal that goes around here, but this is more so, oh, I put this thing on backwards. This freaking paint, man, and this clear coat, it is so freaking fragile. I'm just disappointed in this stuff, man. I'm gonna have to go back and touch up everything. Look at that. That is, all right. We keep moving. That chipping that paint, that's pissing me off, man. What the hell am I doing? No man's land. So we're gonna turn this propane on, and I'm gonna heat this up, see if I can bend this without breaking it, because this is only aluminum. Oh God. Brandon didn't know what the fuck he was doing. That melted 100%. That was too hot. Damn it, bro. Why did I went way too much with that. I literally bent it back. God damn it. Ah. Got to put the fuel pump in, and we got to get the gas cap on. When this gas tank was damaged, there was a huge dent on the opposite side, like right in this area. Body shop, even though they're not perfect, they do really good jobs at big stuff, but little stuff, attention to details, kind of but they repaired the dent. But the problem is this gas tank has a liner, and what happens is this lining chips. It could possibly clog the fuel filter. I'm not going to replace this liner because I would have to strip it first, which is a pain in the butt. So what we're going to do, we're going to flip it over, clean the inside of the gas tank. So I'm going to fill it up with water and some soapy solution. We're going to use the shop vac and suck it all out. So this will be fun. I actually have not removed the tape from when I paint it. And then here's the piece covering up fuel pump. You can also see that lining right there. I did pretty good on this masking, huh? Yeah. Yeah, you can see right here how it's chipping and it's already rusting. That's insane. So what I have here is a camera that is inside of the gas tank. So I'm gonna show you where the chip is. That's all rust and grime that's in the tank. Spiderweb. That's the chipping of that liner on the inside. That looks like the fuel float right there as well. All of that is just dust and you know, when this tank was at the body shop. So I got to clean all of that out. Haven't fully thought this out, but I know I gotta get that dust out. Oh no, I forgot it can come out that side because I don't have the gas cap on. Silly me. Then again, I'm always silly. Shout out to whoever created the shop vac. Legendary. That dark section and that red section, that's the difference between liner being on the tank and liner not being on the tank. That is a big chip that's trying to come off. Everything I'm doing here is temporary. Fuel filter currently has 61,000 miles on it. I don't see a point in putting a new one in here if the same thing is going to happen, where a piece of trash like that gets to the fuel filter, prevents fuel from being sucked up, and basically causes the bike to stall out because there's no fuel entering the chamber. So this tank is going to have to be recoated. Shut up, I'm talking. Because it's gonna continue to chip. Let me show you this. Yeah, I can really see it now. Rebuild a victory, they said. It would be fun, they said. Look at that. Rusty McRust. It's quite a bit there, bud. Plan now, we're gonna put this heat gun in here on low. Gonna try to get this line out of the way so we don't cook it. Allow the heat to evaporate this moisture. Heat's gonna go up through the tank, should draw it out, leave it here for about an hour. Here's another piece of that lining. Yeah, let's do that. Hello, how y'all doing? I'm good. Right, so the heat gun idea. I would soon and very quickly realize, yeah, this could end up being a problem. So I stopped that and went back to the shop vac. Blessed be the person that created the shop vac. No, I did not leave the heat gun in the gas tank because I was worried about cooking the liner. Ooh, that is all liner that came from flushing it and just the shop vac. Most of that lining is, or at least that chip lining is gone, and there's a whole lot of it left. Look at that. That's all lined. Not everybody's gonna agree on my decision to not reline that gas tank, but here's the fuel pump and here's the fuel filter. 61,000 miles, we're gonna reuse this. The worst case scenario, those little chips that we've sucked out of here, it ends up blocking the fuel filter, which blocks the fuel pump. That's the only line we got pretty much to get fuel into that pump. And so if that's blocked, it can't suck up fuel, and then you end up getting misfires and the bike just cuts off. Now, over time, that rust is going to degrade this tank. And even if you reline it, rust, as they say, does not sleep. It is going to continue to eat away at the metal. I don't know the best move, but I know we're gonna run it. And if something happens, I'll take care of it when it happens. The obvious thing is to replace that little guy right there. That's the fuel pump gasket. I'm not gonna change this out. This is honestly the first time this thing's been taken off, so it'll be fine. It's still got some sponginess to it. I know, not conventional or not recommended, but we've done it before and we're gonna do it again. But we do have to hook this cable into here. And also the spout right here to connect the fuel line is on the right side of the bike. So I'm gonna do it just like this. Obviously, this needs to go in first. All right. I've been here before messing up the torque spec on a fuel pump. We got one, we gotta go in order. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. We're gonna be doing this at 43 inch-pounds. Don't mess that up. 9, 10. Time for fuel. All right. Woo. Gas tank cap. This vent is gonna go there. All right, just need some fuel, man. It gets better in my hand than inside the tank, right? There we go. And my neighbor started his lawnmower. Got a battery down there, gas tank's on, Fuel pump's connected. We got the click from the line. We got the vapor lines connected. I'm gonna power the bike on, and we're gonna see if she will start. This thing has a loud screech. I can't remember if it's the starter or if it's like something like the torque limiter or something for the starter, but it's gonna scream. But let's prime this fuel pump a couple times. That's good. It's loud. There it is. That sounds better. Definitely starter ready. Don't smell any fuel, so we should be good on that. Yeah. Bike sounds good, it sounds healthy other than that starter. So more than likely what's going on, I think Vic's shop has a really good video about this. You can actually take the starter out, greases the bearings inside, and that should quiet it down. They call it a goose squawk, and that's essentially what it is. It's like and it's not, you know, that anything's damaged. It's just, you know, lack of greasing, and the bearings just kind of dry out. But I mean, I could easily just get another starter, but the starter's right here. There, yeah, it's right there. So it's a little bit of some work to get to. We're not gonna worry about it though. We're just gonna keep moving because we know that's not stopping this bike from moving. This is the left floorboard. You see that it's wedged. I was gonna try to hammer it out. My neighbor, such a cool cat. He had one just sitting that he bought that he didn't use. The only difference is the replacement, for some reason, does not have the portion for the peg. So I can either drill that in there or not. We ain't gonna worry about it, but I'm gonna go ahead and swap these. The horn, the oil cooler, and the battery. So this battery is not going to be the final one. This is actually my test battery, which I also got from my neighbor. We're going to go ahead and put the cover on there, and we're going to put the side panels on and put the floorboard on there, connect the shifter link and front fender, and that should be it. All right, we got two up top, and we should be good to go. Now I'm going to try to get this in here. Hopefully it all goes smooth. Yeah. Next we got the shift link perpendicular to the splines right here. I got this greased. Yeah, that looks right. And then we take the set screw, we'll screw that in and tighten it down and get this tightened down. All right. This has a torque value, but your boy don't know what the torque value is, so here we go. Alright, now with that on there, got our tender right here. I think what's next, there's one bolt behind here that I didn't secure. I'll go back and do it later, but we need to do the front fender. This isn't gonna sit flush because there is a, that battery's too big. Apparently I forgot to tighten this down or this could be worn out. I don't know, I'm gonna have to look at that. Alright, 3 more. Don't you fight me. Alright, whoop, go like that. Alright, now we're getting somewhere. Alright, we done. No, we're not. So we gotta put some turn signals on. Don't worry about that little spot. We gotta put some turn signals on, and don't worry about that spot. What I say, turn signals and the headlight. Okay, so a little bit of a confession. I don't know what a headlight is. I don't know. I ain't seen it. All right. I might be able to stop somebody from hitting me. Awesome. All right, so y'all remember that situation about the battery? No, low volts, 8 volts, not 12 volts. So yeah, that battery, with the winter months coming up, it pretty much gave up. So I picked a day recently to just go ahead and buy a new battery, pick one of those late nights and just swapped it out.
But as you can see, we got some other stuff going on. I did go to Harbor Freight, get me an actual battery charger, so I wouldn't have to keep taking it to AutoZone for them to do that for me. And then of course I do have battery tenders, but this thing is really cool because it does a deep charge on your batteries, and it also will do the trickle charge as well, but this will get me back in the right direction.
Yeah, so we've jumped in time a little bit, and yeah, we got some bikes missing and we got some new bikes in here. But we're gonna be taking this subframe to the subframe off of the Vic, so everything is basically having to come off the rear. So I have a used one over here. We're gonna have to take this bracket piece off right here, but the main part of this is not bent. So let's get this thing installed. So what we are taking off is this portion. So not the subframe, but a sub to the subframe. This is ultimately the problem. As long as I can get this ABS bracket up off of here, or this ABS module without disturbing the lines, I think we should be fine. And this thing's barely, I think, being held in there. I think we might be able to get away without disturbing the ABS, but as far as the brake lines, but I think it's gonna have to happen. We're gonna have to disconnect it from here. Slight change of plans. I ran into a problem getting this ABS bracket off. The head of the bolt is rounding off and I can't get it. So we're going in from the back right here. This is gonna do it, I think. Bracket should fall. So now, that one right there is giving me trouble. My open-ended wrench kept slipping, so this is gonna allow me to do this without actually taking the ABS module apart at all. Now that I got that bracket off, the screw, I'll just move this one up here and put the one that's not as rounded off on the bottom. Those are the two good ones, and that one right there, that's where I kept slipping. So we're gonna move it to the top. The last thing here is this canister. The new bracket, or the new frame, does not come with this bracket here, so we're gonna save it, reuse it, and also it keeps us from having to clip these ginormous zip ties here. This canister's got some weight. With them both off the bike now, you can see that side. This is the old one. Level. Not level, right? Then this one, this is the one that's going on the bike. Leveled. Leveled. Both sides. Yeah. Somebody could have bent that in place, but not me. You can see how this one's bent there. You see the paint chip there, and this is the piece that make that saddleback really hard to get in alignment. And so it was also thrown off this side as well. Straight on both sides, straight on both sides, and these pieces are gonna line up. So I don't have to take this piece off, I just need a screw to reinforce it in the back. I'm also gonna throw a little bit of spray paint on that for that rust, but it'll be fine, but we're gonna do it anyway. What makes this a little difficult, it's not because it's heavy, it's because the cables are pushing down on the bracket at the same time. That little canister has quite a bit of weight to it. Get it, I'm gonna get it. I actually was fiddling with this a little bit more because I thought this was supposed to go here. And so I was putting it in the wrong place. Yep, everything's lining up. All right, with the new bracket on, it's just a matter of getting all this stuff back on. So let's get it. That's the right exhaust. Looks lined up. Left exhaust. Looks lined up. Everything went on smooth for the most part, except I had to loosen the clamps on the exhaust because they were previously set for the bent bracket. So this one had to come back and this one had to go forward, but I think we got it. After finagling this thing, I had to get the back one on first. It's a little weird by like maybe right at 1/8 of an inch, man. But luckily, pieces that hold the saddlebag. Very irritating, but one right there, one right there. On the other side, one there, one there. We now have a gap between the bag and the signal on this side, and a gap between the bag and the signal on this side. With everything on here, I don't have to worry about the saddlebags rubbing or getting scratched up or possibly just falling off. I think, I promised you guys our first ride on this thing, somewhat of a ride. We're gonna do that. That's jiggling around in there. I'm gonna have to do something about that. That radio, it's not tight. Well, actually, okay, so we're here, we're riding the bike. The front fairing is not fully bolted down. I didn't come out here to just, you know, rag on this thing and to see what it'll do, but more so just, you know, feel what's going on with the bike. This is the longest I've been on this. This actually is not the first time I've been on it since I've had it in the garage. I went to get gas on it, but I knew, like, for instance, the brakes, they are not where they need to be. This fluid is probably over 5 years old. So yeah, that's a problem. Honestly, the entire braking system needs to be overhauled. There's also a bit of a whine when I get off with the throttle. I don't know if that's intake noise. We did mess with the air filter, or I don't know if that's coming from the primary, but there's some noises going on. Nothing that makes me feel unsafe, but what I didn't want to do is get on this bike. You know, typically I have gotten on bikes and just boom, I'm on it, I'm ragging on them a little bit, and I think by the end of this ride, I think I'll feel a little bit more comfortable doing that. But it is a couple of days before Christmas, so we are in the winter months. This is deer hunting season, and so we have to be very careful because critters will be running across the road. But I can tell you, you might be thinking, Brandon, this bike was wrecked. Surely you needed to do something with the front end on it, right? Well, I'm gonna tell you right now, cruise control is on, the bike's moving, the bike is not diving to the left or to the right. We are holding a straight line on this bike. I knew that the forks needed some work as far as like rebuilding the fork to, you know, address the fluid, because I'm sure that is the original fluid as well. But fundamentally, this bike's handling is just fine. We would benefit greatly from a fork rebuild, flushing the fluids in the braking system, which I do plan on doing, and also changing out the engine oil, because this bike has sat up for over a year, and even if you don't put the miles on it, you still need to flush that fluid because that oil can build up moisture. You don't want, you know, that in your engine. Same way you don't want moisture in your fuel, so when it gets into the cylinders, water can compress. Too much of it can cause you to blow your engine or a misfire. I think the belt needs to be adjusted a little bit. It's a little loose, nothing that's detrimental, but it definitely needs to be adjusted. And I'm pretty sure, again, that's the original belt. This bike has 61,000 miles on it, and man, is it purring like nothing's wrong. Oh man, this time of the year. Don't get me wrong now, I have my complaints about the brakes, but this bike stops. It 100% stops, no problem. Whoa, slipped a little bit. Got a little bit of a shimmy when I did that. In the rear. Moo. Oh, I smell that moo. And here's my favorite little spot. There's always a little clearing right here where the sun just pushes through. And this hills right here, and it just brings the most, oh, sensational little bit of light. And also, we're gonna fix that kickstand next time as well. It definitely needs some work. But here we are, man. Yeah, I know you guys can see the little imperfections and different stuff. Like, I gotta go back and clean all that up. I gotta go back and put some spray paint on that, clean it up. The biggest part of this that we were looking at right here, this gap, perfect, no issues with that. I'm gonna go ahead and
Get back on and do a little pull and bring it on in. But the Vic is doing exactly what I had hoped it would do. Yeah, man. Wow. Freaking wow, man. Alright, Vic. Alright, you ain't got nothing else to prove, man. You ain't got nothing else to prove. Let's go and take this on in, man. I'm gonna enjoy this a little bit. I'm gonna get this thing back in one piece. I almost dropped this thing. Oh. A little cold and it's a little slippery. But that, my friends, went 100% according to plan. Could not have wanted a better session.
Well, I think I just found one of my noises. I don't know what that is. That's a new one to me. Let me know what y'all think about that down below. I'm gonna figure it out, but yeah, that's a weird noise. But like I said, the front fairing is not fully bolted down. We're gonna fix that. And headlight, we're gonna fix that. Brakes. The brakes didn't feel terrible, but they need to be tended to. So we're gonna deal with that as well. So there's a number of things that are still left to do on this bike, but I can tell you again, the foundation is good. I'm proud of it. And we're gonna keep moving on. If you don't know, I've been just figuring this stuff out as I go along. But as always, I hope you learned something. So thanks for listening. Thanks for watching. If you want to see where we started and where we're going, you can click right here and check out the next part of this playlist at some point. But anyway, catch you in the next one. Peace.